Hey there. Our hearts go out to the people of Hawaii following the devastating Maui fires. If you would like to help or are in a position to donate, then the Hawaii Community Foundation has the Maui Strong Fund to directly assist the people of Maui, as well as the Maui Food Bank and Aloha Way Maui Fire Relief Fund. If you're not able to donate, then please share any of the links below to the charities and resources, as every bit helps. Let's help our friends in Maui and Hawaii. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of DeckedUP, a gaming and tech podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Casanova, and we're back with another episode. I know it's been roughly an entire week since the last episode that came out on this podcast. I do apologize for that because I make it a point of trying to get at least 2 episodes a week to you guys, if not 3, if I possibly can. Sometimes there's not enough news for me to really, dig through the crumbs and like, hey, I can make a podcast out of this. So, if I can't, I can. If I can, I can. And other than that, the only other thing I can say is if any of you have kids, like I have a kid, I have kids. I have a toddler right now that's on the verge of being 3. And it's quite difficult sometimes trying to really be able to get to do anything. She's in that terrible 2 phase where there's always a meltdown over everything, always crying over everything. And if you have kids, you know how tiring and draining that can be. So yeah, that's my excuse. Been having to deal with that a lot lately. Anyways, there's a lot of news that has happened. There's going to be more that's going to be happening tomorrow with the state of play from PlayStation and Nintendo Direct happening. And I think Sega's doing the Like a Dragon Direct as well. So there's so much going on. Sometimes it can be really overwhelming to try and keep up. But before we dive further into the episode, if you enjoy Decked Up and you really want to support the show, we've got support options available on Patreon. We got channel memberships on YouTube, and we also have a lot of other ways, such as you can do the fan support on Spotify as well. So those are just your options. But anyways, we're going to be talking, let me go ahead and give you guys a rundown of the topics that we're going to be covering. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors and the architecture that it's going to be running. We're also going to be talking about the portable PC fan wars and how utterly ridiculous it is and why it needs to stop. And that might be the last topic we end the podcast on. And then we're also going to be talking about how there's just too many games out there. And then we're going to talk about the iPhone 15 Pro and what that means for mobile gaming. Actually, we're going to start off with that. Let's go ahead and kick it off with that. We're looking here at Apple's website. So this is the iPhone 15 Pro made out of titanium. So pricing for this starts at $999, or you can do $41.62 a month for it for 24 months. Pre-orders start on the 15th. At 5 a.m. Pacific date time, and then be available on the 22nd. So I have not, I intend to pick up an iPhone 15 Pro. I currently have an iPhone 12 Pro Max that I've been using, and being completely honest, I have not seen a reason, at least for me, to do any type of update on my iPhone, just because everything from I mean, technically, if we want to say like even the 12, like coming from the 11, going to the 12 felt iterative. And then going from, 12 to 13 to 14, they just felt like iterative updates. It didn't seem like something that was worth giving my time to or my money. So with this, now that they're using USB-C, which is the thing, because I have so many devices that utilize USB-C for charging, and the fact that this finally has USB-C, thank you, Apple. It's about time you caught up with the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So, anyways, this is going to be a great device. I'm really excited for it. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that absolutely hate Apple, and I get it. I'm not trying to change your mind on that. But the reality is, for a lot of us that use iPhones, and I use iPhone and Android, and I've got a Mac computer, I got a Mac Studio. So, like, when you're in the ecosystem, you can't help it. It's just that good. So, anyways, looking at this, visually, there's really nothing different about it other than like this action button here, and that's something I think is it's pretty neat that they're changing it. Although, like, you're getting rid of the mute, the toggle on notifications mute functionality for this, but you can also customize this. So, you can do quick action with it, and the different colors. You got that's not the color I go with. I'm probably gonna go just with black. Just that's what I personally prefer for my iPhones. I might switch it up and get a titanium, white titanium, maybe even the blue. But I think I'm probably gonna get this. I'm gonna get the 6.7 inch one. I'm not, that's just I prefer a bigger phone, and this is probably gonna be my go-to gaming device. Looking at this, so this has the I forgot where they showed it. I think they have the newer chip in it. So it's forged in titanium, as y'all can see. Literally, it looks no different than the last several iPhones that have come out since 2019, physically. So, you know, but it has that A17 Pro chip. So here's the thing. A lot of people are not going to think that this is anything major, but the fact that this can run Resident Evil 4 Remake and Village natively on this phone is monstrably huge. A lot of people might not think anything of it, but it can run that. And I'm like, if we've got the tech in the phone to be able to do that, then this correlates to the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors, and that it's going to be a substantial upgrade over the current Nintendo Switch, and it will allow us to do more, game more, well, have better gaming options and not have to rely on so many games being cloud variations. Because if you can fit those monstrous games on a handheld like the iPhone, then they can definitely work on the upcoming Switch 2. So it says it's here. The biggest redesign in the history of Apple's GPUs. A17 Pro is an entirely new class of iPhone chip that delivers our best graphics performance by far. Mobile games will look and feel so immersive. Can't even talk. With incredibly detailed environments and more realistic characters, and with industry-leading speed and efficiency, A17 Pro takes fast and it takes fast and runs with it. Pro class GPU with 6 cores, and then that's kind of it on that. But they're showing some game. They should be showcasing Resident Evil, but I get it. They're not going to do that for the polarizing features. So you got the cameras. I mean, we can talk about the cameras. I'm not really. I mean, they just have additional stuff with them. With the biggest difference is the telephoto is able to pan a bit, so it's pretty cool. And then 48 megapixel camera, so big jump if you're coming off of a old one. So yeah, and then the pure zoom, 120 millimeters of pure pro zoom. So yeah. All right. So here's the other thing. I mean, cool and all, but you also got to look at the fact that this speed is still slower than Android transfer speeds. But Apple is being Apple, right? All right, battery life. So the 14's battery life was a big jump over what the 13 and what I'm experiencing with the 12 and also with the 11. So there's a massive jump in performance and capability. So video playback on this new iPhone is going to be up to 29 hours allegedly, and up to 23 hours of video. So 29 hours of video playback on the 15 Pro Max and 23 on the 15 Pro. I would say just cut that in half. Realistic, use cases, because I mean, it's so many variables. You got screen brightness, whether you've got data going, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that stuff. I would just cut that down. Now, I am looking forward to having that better battery life in general, just because for me personally, I have had to deal with having to charge my current iPhone 12 Pro Max at least 2 or 3 times a day. And that could be because it's an older device, but iPhones, at least for me, have never had great battery life. So I'm looking forward to a better experience with that. So, anyways, not really a whole lot more to talk about. I believe my wife wants to go with pink. She's going to go with the 15 Pro, or probably just the 15. I don't even think she wants the Pro. We'll see. Anyways, that's not the point. We're here to talk about this. So it says right here, iPhone 15 Pro runs, Resident Evil Village at 30 frames per second. It's also a universal purchase if you own it on Mac and want to play it on iPhone 15 Pro. So this is from IGN. I know a lot of us don't like IGN, but hey, they got some information sometimes, they actually do hit on. So this article says, in most recent years, Apple has shifted more and more focus to adding gaming-centric features to its hardware, mostly on Mac computers. The Apple Wonderlust event confirmed the iPhone 15 Pro is joining in with the next Apple flagship smartphone set to receive native versions of AAA games, including Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and more in coming months. In an offhand demo attended by IGN, Resident Evil Village ran natively on iPhone 15 Pro at a stable 30 frames per second. That's pretty awesome. You can't even run this game natively on the Switch. It has to be a cloud variation. So that's pretty awesome to run on the phone. The fact that the Resident Evil Village, a game released a little over 2 years ago, is running natively on a smartphone and it's not a cloud version or a watered down version of the game is nothing short of impressive. While we did not get confirmation on the resolution, the textures and visual fidelity looked impressive. So, if anything, it's probably running 720p, if not 1080p. The A17 chip is pretty powerful, so I'm not going to even knock its capabilities. So, alongside confirmation of 30 FPS, we also learned Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Death Stranding. The fact that that's running on there is pretty awesome. And Assassin's Creed Mirage are universal purchases. If you buy the iPhone 15 Pro version of these games, you can also run them on iPads, and in the case of Resident Evil Village and Death Stranding, you can run them on Macs. But there is a caveat. The iOS versions, which are exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro, only run on iPads and Macs that have Apple Silicon, so like the M1 chip or the M2 chips. So Resident Evil Village, 4 Remake, and Death Stranding are slated to launch on iPhone 15 Pro later this year, while Assassin's Creed Mirage arrives later in the first half of 2024. If you want more information, you can click on the link. Anyway, so let's go ahead and click on here and see the other games. So iPhone 15 Pro adding RE4 Remake, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and more in 2024. So let's get they don't have any. They need to have more information than what they're showing. Anyway, this is Assassin's Creed game that'll be running on it. So pretty much what I want to say with that is the fact that I know a lot of people mock mobile gaming because a lot of people feel that mobile gaming is not legitimate gaming at all. And here's the thing. you can have that opinion. I'm not going to chastise or criticize anyone for thinking the way you think. But the thing is, I'm someone who believes that you game how you want to game. If you want to game on your phone, go ahead. If you want to game on a portable PC, or if you want to game on your, regular desktop or your consoles or whatever handheld, it doesn't matter. If you want the Mio, was it the Mio Plus, which is I hear a really great device for emulation, then go ahead and do it. I don't see personally a need to like gatekeep how and what device a person plays their games on. You know what I mean? So the fact, and we're going to lead into the next topic, which is going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors. So the fact that this is capable of running these games, so Death Stranding, RE Village, RE4 Remake, and Assassin's Creed Mirage are able to run natively on iPhone is astronomically huge. Now, I remember when I was working in Microsoft, when I was doing training in the in Microsoft stores and in Best Buys, I would also be working alongside an Apple representative, and I remember talking to him. His name was Joe Zijo, and when I was talking to him, one of the things we talked about was like how Apple hasn't had a console since the Apple Pippin, and he's like, well, I disagree with you because the iPhone, he's like, I that's a platform in and of itself, the Apple ecosystem, like iPhone and then on Mac. And I was like, yeah, but no one really goes to that for gaming. And he's like, they probably will within the next decade or so. And this was literally a conversation I had back in 2015. And so it's really interesting to me, seeing it now that we're able to get these games running natively. Now, of course, you're going to have bigger storage. So I'm thinking 128 gig iPhone 15 Pro is not going to cut it. And I'm not sure what these storage capabilities of these are or what they're offering. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the pricing. So we'll go back over here and see what they got. So we go with the 15 Pro Max. Let's say go with black storage. So they start at 256, then you got 512, and then you got the 1 terabyte. I probably personally will go with the 1 terabyte. If we're gonna get these games natively, and I'm also gonna be covering them because I'm part of a lot of creator programs, and a lot of these companies have actually reached out to me today asking me if I'm gonna get the iPhone 15 Pro Max or 15 Pro so I can do coverage for these different games. And so I'm thinking a 1 terabyte because if you look at a Death Stranding, it's probably going to be anywhere, unless they condense it. For iPhone, I think that's going to be anywhere from like 60 to 100 gigs. So a 1 terabyte at 512 would be good. 1 terabyte probably would be overkill. But I'm also looking at the fact I use my iPhone when I'm out and about for a lot of content like shooting videos, taking pictures of my kids, family stuff. It's my go-to shooter outside of my Pixel. So 1 terabyte is probably going to be the one I go with, and I'm probably going to keep that phone for at least 3 to 4 years before I upgrade. So 256, 512, 1 terabyte, and if we look at the 15 Pro, that starts at 128 gigs, 256, 512, 1 terabyte. If you're going to game on your iPhone, if you're going to pick up one of the new iPhones, 128 gigs is not going to do it for you unless you're playing like, you know, certain indie games. But, when you factor in all the updates that occur with Windows, well, not Windows, that occur with iOS, I would not recommend that. Like I've got a 128 12 Pro Max. I barely have any storage. I'm constantly having to delete pictures and videos and apps off of it. So I would say at least do it to 56 if you really are pushed for money. But 512, 1 terabyte is probably going to be a safe spot. But I'm probably going to go with a 1 terabyte 15 Pro Max. And I've got a free upgrade, so I'm probably going to upgrade to that. But anyways, yeah, the fact that phone tech has gotten to where it is, and we're at this point of having these massive games being able to run natively, I think this is going to realistically, this is pushing, and I think the Steam Deck already did that, and all these other devices coming out are continuing to push that, where they're pushing Nintendo to have to make a more powerful device. And a lot of people may say Nintendo doesn't have to do anything. They play their own drum. Yes, but look at the fact that Nintendo actually had third-party support with the Switch. The Switch is about what, 7 years old now, almost 8 years old. So it had, if it didn't have the third-party support that it had, and also coming out during the middle of a generation of, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One going into, well, many years down the road, then going into the PS5 and series consoles, they were able to port those PS4 and Xbox One games over to the Switch with a lot of caveats. But, you know, Nintendo had third party support. Look at the launch. They had Breath of the Wild, and they had Snipper Clips and that one racing game, Fast RMX. And that was it. And then you started seeing games eventually come out. You had ports from the Wii U and such. But Nintendo first year had themselves, and they had third party to an extent. Second year, they had a lot of very strong third party support. And they're going to need to keep third party support and able to keep their consoles viable. If this Switch 2 comes out and it's not powerful, I do not see them having very much success outside of Nintendo exclusives, which don't come out as frequently as we would like. So looking at this, I'm like, with the iPhone having this type of capability, you've got the Steam Deck, which has tremendous capability. You've got, the RG Ally. You've got the upcoming Lenovo Legion Go. These are devices, and alongside all the stuff from Ioneo and AOK Zoe, GPD Win, all these devices are effectively pushing Nintendo to have to do something new. They have to do something different. And I think a lot of people probably don't understand that, or even think that this is a reality. Nintendo needs the third party support. They can get by on their first party to an extent, but they need that third party support. And so in this case, I'm really hoping this next generation Switch has better capability. And before we dive into talking about that, I want to say this. So Lenovo, I did reach out to Lenovo about the Lenovo Legion Go. They got back to me, right? So they asked me for my information and such. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, I may get the opportunity to have a review unit. They did say they see my stuff. They love, the content I put out, how, everything I've done. So, fingers crossed, again, I get to cover it. I'm definitely, it's something I'm definitely looking forward to, covering. Even if I don't get a review unit, I'm still going to be purchasing it. So just wanted to let you guys know that. But anyways, we're going to talk about these Nintendo Switch 2, rumors, right? So here we are. Says Nintendo Switch 2 rumored to leverage NVIDIA Ampere GPU and DLSS. A huge performance leap from Maxwell to Ampere. So many would, and this right here is from Tom's Hardware. I actually have some friends that work there as journalists. So this is Shi Lu. I don't know who they are, but I was hoping it'd be my boy Dominican Dominator. Anyway, it says many would agree that the Nintendo Switch, which launched in 2017, is overdue for a hardware upgrade. It's been long rumored that the Nintendo Switch 2 could potentially tap into NVIDIA's Ampere technology or architecture to offer games at to offer gamers a new hard or handheld gaming experience. Sorry, I need more coffee so I can actually read these articles because your boy's tired. My toddler's been running me into the ground lately. All right. So we got the caffeine. Let's go. All right, so a new GitHub update via Kepler L2 lends some credence to the early rumors. The original Nintendo Switch debuted with NVIDIA's Tegra X1 Arista SoC. The T214 processor features 4 Cortex A57 and 4 Cortex A53 cores. It's the same chip that powers NVIDIA's 2017 Shield. However, the variant inside the Nintendo Switch only utilizes the Cortex A57 cores, which is probably why Nintendo advertised the chip as a customized Tegra processor. It's a bit of a waste since the 4 Cortex A53 cores are left unexploited. For lighter workloads, those could have offered extended battery life, which is very true. Since it didn't take long for Nintendo to revamp the Switch's internals, incorporating a revised version of the Tegra X1, the Nintendo Switch 1.1 and subsequent models utilize the new Tegra X1 Plus Mariko chip. The T210 offers the same specifications as the T214, but had the advantage of a new manufacturing process. While the T214 was produced on TSMC's 20nm node, the T210 tapped into the Taiwanese foundry's 17nm FinFET process node. The T210 taps into Taiwanese Foundry's 17FN FinFET process. I probably already said this. Anyways, for those, quick intermission here. My toddler's here. She's having one of her meltdown episodes, so that's why you're seeing her here. I'm having to hold her. Anyways, back to this. It says the performance differences between the Tegra X1 and Tegra X1 Plus was negligible, but the latter was more power efficient, according to Nintendo. The Switch 1.1's battery life spans between 4.5 hours to 9 hours, a significant bump over the original's 2.5 hours to 6.5 hours. That's something a lot of people forget is how bad the battery was on the original Switch. It was awful. I still have my battery case that I had to get sent here from a friend in the mainland. That's how bad the battery life was in the original Switch. People don't remember it. So every time people complain about how bad the battery life is on like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or whatever handheld gaming device, I just really look at that like I wonder how many of you remember how bad the Switch's battery life was when it came out and how through revisions over time it got better. So it's a moot point to me. So anyways, it says the current rumor around hardware circles is that the Nintendo Switch 2 could employ a customized version of NVIDIA's Jetson Orin. The GitHub page points to the T234 and T239 as reputable hardware leaker Kopite7 Kimi, I hope I said that right, pointed out. Nintendo will likely utilize the T239, a custom-made version of the vanilla T234. So, we're looking at SoC being the Orin for the alleged Switch 2. The process technology Samsung 8nm. CPU is the T239. CPU core is 12X Cortex A78AE. Memory LPDDR5. GPU GA10B Ampere. CUDA cores 2048 CUDA cores. But we don't know the clock speed for Doctor on Dock. Again, what you have to keep in mind, all this is speculation. We don't really know, right? This is all speculation. So, Orin obviously has a lot to offer over the Tegra X1 Plus. For starters, Orin is based on the Ampere architecture of 2020, whereas the Tegra X1 Plus dates from the Maxwell 2014 days. We're looking at a difference of 3 generations of GPU performance. Orin features the GA10B silicon produced on Samsung's 8nm process node, the same process used to fabricate the GeForce RTX 3 series graphics cards. So we can keep going through all this, and pretty much going to the more important part here is there's been rumors that a handful of developers got the chance to see the Nintendo Switch 2 in action behind closed doors at Gamescom 2023. The handheld gaming device reportedly ran Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS with a resolution of 4K. The demo allegedly benefited from DLSS 3.5 minus frame generation. Loading times improved substantially, according to the YouTuber. The Nintendo Switch 2 also demonstrated its progress in the Matrix Awakens and Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, according to other claims. But the thing is, we don't really know any of that, so nothing has been confirmed. And realistically, I think that we'll probably see the next Switch come out. Guaranteed it's going to be 2024. I assume if they really want to get ahead of the fiscal year, they'll probably drop it in March or April, is my earliest estimation, or at latest end of the year. So like November, October, November of next year. I really think, mainly because I'm looking at what has come out for Switch and what's projected to be coming out. And when it comes to Nintendo, I know there's the rumors that we're gonna get Metroid Prime 2 remake, kind of like how we got Metroid Prime 1 remake or remaster. I know it says remaster, but it's pretty much a from the ground up remake. Um, I think with us really only having the two Mario games in the works, and we've already got Pikmin out of the way. I really strongly feel like we're not getting another Fire Emblem because we already got one beginning of this year. We got 1 year. We've gotten three mainline Fire Emblem games, and we've gotten two spin-off games. So I think they're tapped out on Fire Emblem. I think they're tapped out on Xenoblade, other than maybe Chronicles X getting remastered or remade for the Switch. Um, I don't see anything else. I mean, we got the Mario game coming out, and was it the Mario 2 RPG? So that's going to be coming, and I don't see really anything else beyond those. I think that's just about it. Um, so yeah, I think we're at the end of the massive support for the Switch this year. Yeah, so I can't I mean Metroid Prime 4 has been in development hell for like the last 6, 7 years. So yeah, I don't really see Nintendo having anything else major for the base Switch that we have now. I think we're next year we're guaranteed gonna get the new Switch coming out. So that's that. And yeah, as you can see now, my kid's not here. She's having her massive meltdown. It's one of those things. It makes it very difficult when you're trying to work. Um, so it's just one of those things. I also want to bring up, I've got a lot of things as far as content I'm going to be working on. So these just came in from Razer. So the Wolverine V2 Pros. You guys know, I was actually supposed to have covered this controller back in the beginning of the year, and for whatever reason, it has taken 9 months for Razer to get this over to me. It's here. I'm gonna be working on this. Also got the Hammerhead Hyperspeed earbuds. That was also supposed to have been sent a while ago. I'm also working on this Kimuri mini PC, which I have right here. I'm actually gonna be turning that into a full-on like emulation station. So it's going to be having everything. It's powerful enough to run PS2, GameCube down, not so much the original Xbox. Wii games can run on it. So I'm going to be turning that fully into that. That's what that video is going to be. So I'm working on that. And I have a lot of things I'm working on, as you guys saw with my kid being here. And as I told you earlier, it's very difficult when you're trying to make so much content. When you have so much that's coming in, and you've got a kid that's just in their terrible twos. So I get to things when I can get to them, right? So next thing I want to cover We're going to talk about. Um, okay, so this is going to be a little brief because I know this is going into the half-hour territory, but PC or portable PC fan wars. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm tired of it. So, you have people that have been losing their minds over, when the Steam Deck came out, you had the Steam Deck versus Switch. People were going back and forth. You had the elite Switch people that were anti Steam Deck. You had the Steam Deck folks that were anti Switch, and it was just annoying. It's this stupid piece of plastic platform war that was just dumb to me. Then when the Ally came out, then you had the Steam Deck folks getting threatened by it, and then you had the negative news for that was going, which Asus didn't help themselves with the SD card reader issue, but you had to deal with that, which is annoying. So then you had that, and Steam Deck folks not liking the RG Ally folks not liking the Steam Deck, going back and forth. Just annoying. Now you got the Legion, right? Legion Go. And it's kicking up again. And you got the pro ROG Ally folks that are doing the same crap. You've got the pro Steam Deck folks that are also anti Lenovo Legion Go. And I'm just at this point, maybe this is just me. This is probably just a me thing. I will own it if that's what this is. I'm just going to say this. When you're at a point where the piece of plastic that you pick up, be it a Switch controller, a PlayStation controller, or an Xbox controller, right? When you are unable to realize that the games across these three platforms, as well as the Steam Deck, as well as the ROG Ally, and all these other portable gaming platforms, are pretty much the same games that you can play. It's just, what do you want to pick up and play? Why are we considering that a platform war? Why are we warring over which piece of plastic we pick up? It's literally a piece of plastic. It is not that serious, guys. Like, this is not like the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis era, or the previous generation before that, or the ones after that, when you had multi-platform releases and each platform had a very, 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 very different experience. Now it's literally, what controller do you want? And do you want to have additional graphical features and fidelity options setting, like to be able to change? Or do you want to be able to just pick it up and play? That's literally all the difference is now. And I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, maybe this is like a generational thing with the younger generation that's just losing their minds over, like, oh, well, this is that, and this is this, and this is that. And it's like, I don't get it, and I get there's like the emotional stock people have in these different platforms. I get that. That's cool, if you want to be that way. But the fact is, so many people are being absolute dickheads to one another over a piece of plastic. If you want the Lenovo Legion Go, go out and buy it. If you don't want it, then leave it alone. If you want the Ally, go pick it up. If you want the Steam Deck, get it. If you want the Switch, PS5, the Series X or S, then pick up and, go and buy them. If you don't care about them, leave it alone. I don't understand. Like, someone another other days said, like, oh, so you're going to be one of those Legionnaires. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Legionnaire? Come to find out, that is people now, if you buy Lenovo Legion, you're part of the Legionnaire. This is so stupid. I'm too old to give a flying fuck about any of this. I just want, it's new tech, it's new gaming equipment. I just want to pick it up and play it. That's it. I don't care about these stupid labels. I don't care. It's dumb. That's my rant. That's how I feel about the fan wars. They're fucking ridiculous. Please go somewhere else with this bullshit. I'm tired of it in my comment section. I'm tired of it on my timelines on social media. I'm tired. This is why I don't even go on the Reddit threads anymore, because it's just sickening. I'm tired of it. Play what you want to play on what you want to play, and that's it. That's all it should be. It shouldn't be more than that, right? Whatever plastic you want to pick up, and use, whatever it is, pick it up, use it. That's that. Be done with it and move the fuck on. It's not that serious. Go outside and touch some goddamn grass if you can't let that go. Anyways, last thing I want to talk about, and I gotta pull this up because I forgot what it was. All right, last thing, and we're gonna wrap this whole episode up. 2023, too many games. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. It is if you're a consumer and everything coming out is super appealing to you and you want to play it, and there's only so much time and money that you can spend towards gaming. 2023 has started off very strong with games. Started off with Hogwarts Legacy. We even had Forspoken, which I enjoyed that game. It wasn't great. I wouldn't put that above or put that in my top 10 at all, but it was a good game. Gameplay wise, narratively, yeah, but Hogwarts Legacy. Then we had Dead Space remake. We had Resident Evil 4 remake. We had Tears of the Kingdom. We've had Starfield. We've had friggin' Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 3. We've had Armored Core 6, Street Fighter 6. We're getting Mortal Kombat 1 in a couple days, which I'm getting a review copy of. We've gotten so many games. Like, I have not experienced something like this in such a long time, right? I would say 2008, 2007 was a great year for gaming. 2013 was a great year. 2015 rather. 2017 was a great. Oh yeah, Wulong Dining. We got that too. We've gotten so much. Lies of Pi just dropped. There's just so much. There's so much games, and it's like, as a reviewer, I'm already overwhelmed. Like, I check my every day I wake up, boom, there's a review code or there's a physical hardware coming out too. Let's talk about that too. Physical hardware. We got, we got the if you want to add that in there, we got the Tears of the Kingdom Switch, which a lot of people are crazy about. You can still buy those easily in stores. We got that. We got the ROG Ally back in June. We got the Legion Go coming out in a month. We, we got all the stuff from Ioneo, AOK Zoe, like GPD Win. Like, there's just so much just coming out. There's so much hardware and gear and games. And oh man, I don't know how you keep up. I'm in the industry and I'm struggling to keep up with it. I can't imagine going back to being like a casual consumer and or trying to keep up with that. It's too much. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing because there's so much choice. And that's something I feel like people forget. Is choice is king. But the downside of that is because there's so much choice, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to avoid making choices because they feel overwhelmed. If you give a person two options, people are going to guaranteed make one or two choices. Give them three options, they'll make one or three choices. Four options, they'll make one or four choices. When you bombard people with the amount of stuff, I also forgot that the One Piece game came out, right? That was a great RPG if you didn't play that. Sea of Stars, great. I'm also going to throw Chained Echoes and Callisto Protocol in because those are December releases, and technically because of when they release, I actually count them towards this year because Game Wars is not going to count them towards Game Wars in December. So we've just gotten so much. There's so much choice, but when you are overwhelming people with that, a lot of people will just tune out because it's like, I can't keep up with everything, right? It's too overwhelming. So a lot of stuff is going to fall to the wayside. A lot of games are not going to get played. A lot of people are just not going to dive into it. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of gyms. Like, there's just so many gyms that have dropped this year that it's hard to keep up. And the fact that so many are going to get neglected because, they came out at a time when, it's just so many choices. It's unfortunate. But if I ever hear somebody ever saying, like, what's his name, Ryan McCaffrey or whatever from IGN, if that fucking clown ever says again, there's no games to play, There's no games coming out like he did with the PlayStation VR 2, which fucking made a fool out of him because that was just stupid of him to say. There's so many games coming out for the PlayStation VR 2, and that's a whole nother topic I can dive on another episode. There's so many games, there's so many choices. As gamers, right now we're eating good. I could talk about the Unity. I think it's was it Unity or Unreal Engine issues. I could talk about that. I don't. I don't see a need in touching on that. I think enough people have talked about it, but man, there's so much. There's just so much that's come out, and it's absolutely crazy. So, with that being said, wrapping that up, letting you guys know before we end this episode, um, that we are still doing streams on twitch.tv/ Mikhail Casanova. We're still fundraising for Maui, and that is a long project. We're looking to hit $100,000 in donations. That's what we're trying to do with the La Lima Maui Hands and Hearts Coming Together for Maui project that I'm spearheading. We got a lot of hands-on. A lot of people in the gaming and tech industry are being involved. A lot of your favorite content creators are being involved. A lot of your favorite voice actors and celebrities are getting involved in it. And we're really trying to come together for it because, putting everything down, people in Maui still need help. Raising awareness is great, and I'm all for that. But we need to be able to do more with the awareness and be able to find a way to get these resources, the money, food, clothing into the hands of the people of Maui. And not let this die out because news circulates. Something's important for a few days to a week, and then people move on, forget, and we're not trying to let this be forgotten. So if you are able to, I'll leave the Tiltify link in the description. That way you can check it out and be part of it and support. We have a lot of things that we're going to be giving away to various people who are donating. We got games, we got computers, we got products, from Acer, Asus, Lenovo, Capcom, Square Enix, Logitech G, Turtle Beach, AverMedia. So many companies have come together, and all we're asking is for your time. If you can donate, great. If you can't, then just share the link around. So, all that being said, I want to wrap up this episode of Decked Up. I apologize again for this being late. I do my best, but being a stay-at-home father full time and doing content full time and journalism full time, it's not at all easy. I'm doing the best I can. So every little bit helps. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. We already hit 30,000 subscribers. That's a great landmark. I'm hoping we can hit 50,000 before the year ends. And next year we can reach towards getting 100,000. So all that being said, thank you guys for the support. Thank you. If you want to support the show further, consider becoming a Patreon over on patreon.com/ Mikhail Casanova, or consider becoming a channel member on YouTube or supporting the show directly via Spotify. So we got that as an option too. And all that being said, thank you again. Thank you for your time. Again, apologies for this episode coming late, but I try to get this to you as soon as I can. And I'll be back later on this week with another episode because I got to cover what happened with the directs and such that are happening tomorrow. So I'll see you guys probably again on Saturday, if not on Friday. And I'll catch you guys on my streams over on Sunday. Every Sunday at 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. I'll be streaming on twitch.tv/ Mikhail Casanova. So all that being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, have aloha, and I'll see you around. Peace.